Hey, this program does not reflect the views of Media Network of Waterford. Tell you the truth, I don't even know if we have permission to be doing it.
We don't.
Look, if you have a problem with the show, feel free to contact me, a clown. Or
You can contact me, comedian Luis Valencia. But I owe too many people money, so I don't really answer my phone all the time. So just leave a message after the beep.
When he's out in the crowd, you'll find out that he's loud. He's dressed in all black and white. He's one hell of a sight. He's the disgruntled clown. And he's fooling around.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Disgruntled Clown Show. I'm your host, the Disgruntled Clown. And as always, my buddy comedian, Luis Valencia.
How y'all doing?
Hey, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We have nationally touring comedian Billy Ray Bauer.
Yep.
This guy's been in the business a long time.
A very long time.
Actually going to come out and do a little set for us and teach some of the young guys how to get it done. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, it's February, Luis.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. We got a new president.
Yeah, we do.
I'm glad about that.
Yeah, things are changing.
Not that I was bad about, the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, time for a change.
You gotta change it up. Yeah.
And I do want to say something. My bitch of the week is storming the Capitol.
Oh.
Look here. I'm a card-carrying member of the NRA. All right? National Racing Association.
Oh, yeah.
Thought I was talking about the rifle.
Car racing, right? Not foot racing.
Yeah, NASCAR.
NASCAR, yep.
No, look. This whole show is based on the fact of freedom of speech. Okay? And we stand behind it. We actually support all the military personnel, past and present, that support it. And I have no problem with people marching. I have no problem with people protesting of things they don't like. It's what the whole point of it is. You should be able to speak. But you're going to storm the Capitol, tear up our own stuff? Really? There's pictures in there. And so, have you ever been to Congress?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I won a trip there, like an essay. And I
went
got
to the
to go out
Capitol?
there, yeah.
Look here. There's all kinds of stuff. Nothing you want to destroy.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, wow. Little stage dust.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we ain't got our mask on.
I know. Yeah,
I'm glad we had that test.
You gotta be careful over there.
Telling you.
Oh, man.
But, hey, they got the vaccine out now.
Yep.
So, have you gotten your shot yet?
No, I haven't.
No, neither have I.
Yeah, they didn't get to me yet.
Nope. No one's called me.
No.
I'm waiting for the call.
Waiting for the call. I'm waiting for a bunch of calls. I'm waiting for the call.
But I'm still mad about this storm in the storm. Look here. You want to complain, stand out front, grab a bullhorn. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But going in and destroying, tearing up, now someone's dead. 5 people.
5.
You know what I'm saying? That's just wrong there.
That's not just speaking anymore.
Yeah, and that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
I just I can't support that. I support, speaking up. You got a complaint and all, but there's channels to do things
Yep.
and to change things. I mean, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
But I just can't go for that.
I just can't wait to get back on stage and start making people laugh,
I know.
Trying to bring people
Once this
together with
corona-
laughter and
Once
stuff.
this corona thing's over with.
Yeah, once everyone
But
gets
we
their
got
vaccine.
the show. We
Yeah.
got the show.
You can't stop us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Can't stop us. We got the show. They gave us a show, people. And for all you comedians out there who know the two of us, look, all we have to say to you is kiss our ass.
Yeah.
Okay? It took us a long time.
It could have been you, but you didn't want to put in the work.
That's it. You didn't want, where were you? Were you calling us on the phone, giving us work, looking out for us? No.
Nope. I got no missed calls right now.
Yeah. Your phone's out. You have no time on your phone.
Well, I didn't say the reason.
Okay.
I'm just saying I don't have any missed calls, that's all.
I'm just saying we got a show, and now we're trying to use it for good.
For the good.
For
For the
good.
best.
Good of the community. Good for the community of comics.
I really can't wait to start getting back on stage and like just experiencing life again. That was like life
I can't
for me,
wait till
man.
more comedians are touring and stuff.
I
So we get
know.
more people to stop by.
I just miss all the stories, man. All the weird things that happen on the road. And
That's true.
stuff.
We're going to have to ask Billy Ray when he's here.
Oh yeah.
Because I know he's got some wild stories.
Being in the business that long.
Oh, yeah.
Especially you. I know you got some weird stories.
I've got
like
some too, but some of them statute of limitations haven't.
I guess. What about you? Like anything weird happened to you on stage? Like you ever been like attacked or anything on stage?
Yeah. I had a woman. Hey, look, I was in Birmingham, Alabama at the. I was there on stage performing, and this couple, guy and girl, and this was back in the days back when I had the big squirt guns and all that.
Yeah.
And this couple was up there just talking like they were fighting, this guy and girl. And I hauled off, pulled out the squirt gun. I said, y'all going to shut up or you going to leave? And security didn't do nothing, you know. The comedy club security is
That's part of the
always a
show,
joke,
you know? Yeah.
Right. Make them look stupid type
Yeah.
is the game. So the guy hauls off and says, you ain't going to shoot that squirt gun at me. And his girlfriend says, and you better not get my hair wet. And at that moment, I pulled that trigger, and that water shot all over him. I mean, it went up 3 rows and just soaked him. And the guy was so mad that he took his drink and threw it at me. And when he threw it, the way the lighting in that place was, it was so perfect. It's still there in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
As the drink came through the air, I caught it with the ice in it. Could never do it again.
Yeah.
It saved my life.
No.
And drink. And I went, thanks for the drink.
Boom,
and
you
set
win.
It down. Oh, he was climbing over then.
Oh, yeah,
Then
that's-
security had to do something, you know.
yeah.
But,
That's why
yeah,
we appreciate the security, because sometimes stuff gets real, and
it's nice to have them.
it is very nice.
That's why I prefer security bigger than me.
Yeah. Nothing crazy has happened to me on stage. It's usually like behind the scenes stuff, you know? Like one time I was staying I was in Oregon doing shows out there, and I was staying at this more experienced comedian, you know, they're putting me up, which is nice, I appreciate it. And it was weird because all of a sudden like their boyfriend came through, and this is much older, like nothing was happening like that, but their boyfriend came through and then like broke up with them at the time. And it was just the whole thing crazy. Like, I'm just trying to find a place to sleep. And then this happened. He, like, took a bunch of wigs and stuff because he was like, I bought these for you. I deserve these. And he was, like, taking rugs and things that he bought. It was crazy. But nothing, like, on stage that's happened to me that's been like that. Not yet. And I'm not, like, looking forward to it, but it's just bound to happen in these years.
I had 2 women literally rip the costume right off of me on stage.
Oh, on stage.
While I was on stage.
I thought that was like
Attacked me.
what were you saying?
And they didn't even know each other.
So you
one was
see,
over there.
With your speech,
One
you
was over there.
brought 2 people together.
One was over there
unity.
with her husband and their friends. One was over here with her husband and her friends. And simultaneously, they both bum rushed the stage.
Wow.
And as they did, I was thumping them in their forehead.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can do, you know?
Nothing. And they're standing on the stage whoosh, whoosh, and literally shredding. When it was over with, and what was funny was the other comedian who knew this wasn't part of the show was in the back of the room with the other comic, with the club owner laughing so hard. The club owner's going, man, this is great. He knows those 2 women. Is he paying them too? And he's trying to stop them. He's going, stop. Trying to help me.
Yeah.
And not part of the act. And next thing you know, when it was all over with, all I had was the necktie on, the hat, the gloves, and a shred of the bottom half of the costume around my ankles.
Wow. So
yeah.
it turned into like a show?
Oh, yeah. And I just walked off stage,
Well, there's
looked at
nothing
the
you
owner
can-
and said, I need my money.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do after that.
All right. Well, that's enough for us.
That's what happened.
Hey, you know what time it is? Time for defenders of the freedom of speech, that First Amendment.
My favorite part.
Oh, man, this month we got a Navy guy.
All right.
Yeah. Seaman Glenn Felkins.
Glenn Felkins.
Glenn Felkins, yeah.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, Seaman, he's a machinist. U.S. Navy. Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
And get this, he served back old school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. July 1946 to April 1948.
Ah, that was just after all that
Just
big action.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very
Right there in
nice.
that
Right
old
in that wake, you know.
restructuring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this, he served on the USS Iowa and the USS Columbus.
Those are both
Oh,
famous,
man.
famous
both,
ships.
Both very well-known ships. That's right, yeah. And, yeah, he's actually a Michigan boy.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So we want to make sure we salute Seaman Glenn Felkins. He is a defender of the First Amendment, and we salute you.
Thank you.
Now, if any of you get a chance to want us to salute somebody you know that served,
Yeah, just send
Defender-
send us their information.
send us the information, and we'll be more than willing. You can do that at www.disgruntledclownshow.com, and just go on there, and you'll see where you put all the information and stuff. And maybe your relative or friend or something can
Be our next defender.
of the First Amendment. I think it's time to bring out the comedian.
Yeah, I think it's enough time of us, and let's bring up the next guy here.
Yeah, your comedian this month has been touring clubs and colleges all over the country. He's one of my favorites, and I've never gotten to actually work with him, but we followed each other for years. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Billy Ray Bowers.
Hey everybody, I'm Billy Ray Bauer and I'm 63 years old, which means I'm getting phone calls that I really don't like. Maybe you've been getting them too. I've been getting calls from the Medicare helpline. And the worst part is they're not even looking for me. They're looking for a guy named Dwayne. They've been calling me morning, noon, and night for months asking, is Dwayne there? And I keep telling them no. Finally, last week I snapped. They called again. They said, is Dwayne there? I said, I got bad news for you. And they said, well, what's that? I said, Dwayne died. They said, well, what happened? I go, well, I killed him because he gave out my phone number to the Medicare helpline. It's tough getting old, man. I'm watching these commercials. Something bad happened to me. I failed to repay my reverse mortgage, and now Tom Selleck is living in my garage. It's terrible. Every time I open the door, he's yakking about his rodeo or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is the way it is, you know. Now, I've been married a long time. Been married for 40 years. And I got a beautiful wife. And unfortunately, when you get older, you need medications. And my wife's no different. They diagnosed her with osteoporosis. And this points out where they've run out of good names for these drugs. They put my wife on this stuff, you've heard of it, Boniva. Sounds like something you do on the weekend, doesn't it? Hey, what are you going to do this weekend? I'm going to bone Eva, but I might have to see Alice first. Yeah, so here we are. My wife and I have been married for a long, long time. She's a tough girl, too. She's tougher than I'll ever be. She delivered 4 boys, all of them naturally. Yeah, all of them naturally. My youngest son, Matt, was 11 pounds, 1 ounce. Kid came out of the womb, he was smoking a cigarette. Got a job right there in the hospital on the maintenance crew. Yeah, she's tough. She is really tough. She went out and got a tattoo, and I said, honey, did it hurt? She said, no, I'm used to little pricks. But seriously, she is tougher than we men will ever be. Men could never have babies, even if we were able to. In fact, how many times have you seen a guy who's like 50, 60 years old, he's skinny except for this big gut sticking out, and he'll slap it and claim it's a beer belly. Nope, that's actually a calcified fetus. He got knocked up in 1989. He just isn't having that kid. Now, and speaking of those kids, yeah, I got 4 of them. And I got news for you people. Now, listen up. There was a time in America when you would raise children and they would leave. Yep. I got a 28-year-old living in my house. He doesn't take a hint worth of shit, I'll tell you. Ah, man, I left his clothing, his furniture out on the lawn. He's still there. Sent him a text message. See ya. Still there. Can't get rid of him. Worst part is, you know, he's an adult, 28 years old. He doesn't ask advice anymore. He doesn't need permission. He just does things without my knowing. I was on the road for a couple months down south doing comedy. I come home, he's suddenly into body piercing. He says, what do you think? I says, I think you look like a freaking trout. That's what I think. Well, apparently this was the look he was going for. I went away for a few more weeks. I come back now. He's got a half a dozen hoops through his lower lip. He's got a half a dozen hoops in his nostril. He's got an uncountable number of hoops in his ear. Says, what do you think? I said, I think somebody beat the shit out of you with a spiral notebook. That's what I think. But yeah, kids, I got another one at home, Matt. He's something else. Matt's a character. And I'll tell you something, these kids, man, when you get to be that age that he was at, he was at that age, you know the age, 18, 19, they're not really an adult, they're not really a child, they're sort of an evil chrysalis that will one day hatch. In the interim time, they live on a steady diet of wise-assness. I had him in the car with me a few weeks ago. We're driving out past where the Palace of Auburn Hills used to be. You remember that place? Yeah, we're driving up I-75, and you know that big landfill just to the north of the Palace? I point at that big mountain of trash. I said, hey, Matt, see that big mountain of trash? It's about the same age as you are, which means some of your dirty diapers are at the bottom of that mountain of trash. He didn't miss a beat. He says, oh, yeah, in a couple more years, your dirty diapers are going to be on top of that mountain. I'll tell you, he'd have fallen out of that car if he hadn't been wearing his seatbelt. That was an emergency left-hand turn. That's what that one was. And I can tell you where he is right now, too, man. He's not out running around with his hoodlum friends. No, he's in one of 3 locations in my house, even as we speak. He's either in front of my TV, he's on my computer, or he's on his Xbox 360, where he plays online video games with hundreds of other young people and a couple of guys from a task force at the sheriff's department. The other day I walk in the house, he ain't doing shit. He's just sitting on the couch looking bored. I said, hey, Matt, why don't you just watch TV? He said I would, but I can't find the remote. I said, what? Let me tell you something, pal. When I was your age, I was the remote. I had to walk to that television set every time. 8 miles, uphill, both ways, barefoot, in the snow. Then I said to him, you know, if you got up off your lazy ass and walked over that TV, there are push buttons on it, you could turn it on and watch it. He was like, no shit. I said, that's it, you're way spoiled, because when I was your age, we didn't have push buttons, we had the plastic knob. Remember? Sometimes the knob would break. We had to use pliers. We used to use vice grips, because they would stay there. Well, we can't watch that channel. Why not? The vice grips are in the way. Oh, there you go. Yep. Things are a little different today. I can tell you that right now. Remember when things were made well? Things, you could beat on your appliances. Remember that? You could just beat on it, make it work. We were all the Fonz. You could just beat on it. My dad used that theory on everything in the house. Billy, come here. Bam, look, Marge, he's walking straighter, by God. Yep. That was my pops. My dad was a great guy. My dad was a World War II veteran. He had to work 2 jobs to support us. I used to think that's why he was always so pissed off. Now I realize he was pissed off because he didn't have a 3rd job that would have kept him away from home all the damn time. Yeah. Now here we are. I've got a world that we live in today. It's dangerous. People are always worried. Danger everywhere. Our kids, we worry about them. We don't want to let them out of our sight. And if they want to do something really dangerous like ride a bike, well, you better put on a helmet. Well, when I was a kid and you saw another kid riding a bike and he had a helmet on, it meant he'd already been in a serious accident. That's little Jerry. He's not right. But if you ask him, he'll give you a quarter. Everything was dangerous when I was a kid. We had dangerous toys. Remember jarts? Gigantic darts. And you know what? We should probably be drinking while we're doing this. And that was one of our fun games. We played in the double lot down the street. Unfortunately, the guy who lived next door to the double lot was the first guy in the neighborhood to get aluminum siding. Jarts and aluminum siding do not go together well. Another thing we had when I was a kid, very funny thing that we had, was called the slip and slide. Big sheet of plastic. You hooked it up to your hose, got it all wet. You throw it out on the lawn, you take a running jump, and you'd slide on it. The only problem with the slip and slide is no matter how carefully you selected the place where you put it, you could never find all the little sharp objects underneath the plastic. One day I went running, did a belly flop, I ended up with a C-section. Yeah, pretty tough. Tough childhood. Danger lurked everywhere. In fact, the most dangerous place on the planet happened to be my own backyard. Why? Because one Sunday morning, my dad went out and spent $70 at Kmart and bought a swing set. Now, I'm not talking about a playscape like you got today that costs thousands of dollars, that's designed by an architect, or that you have to have a contractor to build. No, I'm talking about a swing set that you bought at Kmart for $70. It was made out of stamped steel, it was painted in circus colors. Yeah, and when he was on his way home, he picked up a case of beer to make sure he did a proper build. And once he got it put together, there was a little slide on one side. It was only about 1.5 feet long, but on a July day when it was about 90 degrees, you get about halfway down the slide before you become cauterized to the slide. My mom would come running out with a can of Pam and a spatula. I think Billy's done on that side. And then came the inevitable day when I brought over a bunch of my buddies, little 8-year-old buddies in the backyard, and we all started arguing about science, physics in particular, and we wondered, is it indeed possible to push little Jimmy hard enough on the swing so that he will do a complete rotation? And we set about our business, pushing little Jimmy harder and harder and harder, and just when little Jimmy was about to make a complete rotation, that's when we discovered that my dad had not properly anchored the swing set. Little Jimmy and the swing set went cartwheeling down the driveway. Thankfully, my mom was an early first responder. She knew just what to do. She dashed into the house and returned with a small bottle in her hand, mercurochrome. And for those of you who know about mercurochrome, you know that mercurochrome did not heal a wound. It simply identified it. Mercurochrome had an evil cousin, methylate, and then there was iodine. One was orange, one was red, one was yellow. When I was a kid, it wasn't important to heal properly, but to be colorful during the process.
Wow. Now that was a set there.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Bauer, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. There he
Very
is
nice.
right there.
Tell the clown I said thanks.
Oh, he says thank you.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
appreciates it, yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, a lot of people are afraid of clowns.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that Billy Ray has that phobia. So the interview today is going to be conducted by comedian Luis Valencia.
I'll be the middleman in between them.
Luis, have you seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Not yet, I haven't.
Don't, because that's part of the reason why I'm having a problem with this
yeah.
today.
Well, see, the thing for me is I already see enough clown, so I don't want to watch anymore.
I get you.
It's not like, I hang out with him and then I go home. It's like, what I really want to see some more of? Clowns.
Clown.
Yeah.
You realize I'm sitting here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get on with the interview.
All right. Anyway, so you said a lot about, growing up in the older time, it's, very dangerous and stuff. But in comedy, we were talking about this earlier, is like, it kind of gets dangerous on the road. Like, there's things that happen that get kind of weird and stuff. Is there anything that sticks out?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe got really weird after a show or something?
South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, I believe it.
I was there. Yeah, I was there in February about 5 years ago, and I was working at a venue where it was attached to a hotel. Okay, and we had done the Friday night show. And Saturday morning, it was a snowstorm. And I mean, we already had a foot of snow on the ground, and it was snowing so hard you couldn't hardly see. So I had to go out and grab lunch. While I'm out grabbing lunch, I'm near, just north of it on the big highway, 933. And I'm on a side road, a dirt road that goes into that. And I'm sitting there after getting lunch, waiting to pull out onto this main road. Well, I wasn't paying real close attention, but there was a county snowplow truck that was making its way down 933. So I'm sitting there, I'm dead stopped, and I'm looking to my left because I got to pay attention to traffic that could be a problem for me to pull out. So I'm looking to my left at traffic. I'm not paying attention to the fact that the snowplow driver decided it was a good time to back up, and he literally backed over the front of my car.
Man.
Oh, it gets better. So he backs over the front of my car, just trashes it, right? I had a Cadillac DTS at the time.
See, he was
Smashes
making good money.
Yeah.
right over the front of the car. I mean, literally just crushes the front of the car, because this is a county snowplow. The tires on the damn thing were 4 feet high, right? And there's an old guy operating a snowplow with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, right? So he backs over my car. I jump out of the car. I start yelling at him, and he's ignoring me. I'm beating on the door to the truck. I'm like, hey, look what you did. He gets out with his cigarette, and he proceeds to inspect his truck for damage. I go, the damage is to my car, right? So in the meantime, apparently he gets on the horn and he calls back to the dispatch place, which happens to be the county works or whatever, and that happens to be where the St. Joe County Sheriff's Office is. And 2 sheriff's patrol cars pull up and proceed to give me a ticket for failing to yield to a snowplow.
Man.
And I tried to explain to him, I go, I wasn't moving. How is it my fault that this guy just drove over me? And the worst part is my insurance company wanted to find me at fault, and I fought it. I ended up calling, and I ended up speaking to the attorney that represented St. Joe County. And they made me do an audio deposition, and they said, well, we're going to do an audio deposition with the snowplow driver to find out his side of it. So a few days later, I get a call back from this attorney, and he goes, we're going to settle this. We're going to take care of you. I go, well, what happened? He goes, well, the snowplow driver wouldn't talk to us. I go, yeah, because he knows what happened. He ran over my car.
He's like, I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah, and just a prologue to that. A year later, no, not even a year later, because that was in February. Then Halloween, I was booked. I was doing a comedy club in Topeka, Kansas. And I made the long drive back, made it all the way to just south of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and a deer jumped out of the center median, and I hit the deer with that. I hit it in midair. It literally was flying through the air when I hit it, and thankfully, it wasn't any higher off the ground, because if it had been higher, it would have come through the windshield and killed me. As it was, it hit the front grill of the, and if you know a 2003, it's a huge car. It pushed the front grill of the car all the way to the firewall. And then the cop showed up and he's like, oh, I should give you a ticket for hunting without a license. I said, I should give you a ticket for attempting jokes without any humor. So that was my unfortunate, that's probably the weirdest. I have other stories because I've been doing this for 34 years.
Did you notice he was touring around in a STS, okay.
DTS.
A DTS. Do you remember what we tour around in?
I would like to not to.
A 20-year-old truck, you know.
A shopping cart with a wobbling wheel.
He's in a.
Yeah,
We're getting the wrong kind of gigs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you know what I didn't tell you about that gig? This is the best part of it at all. So Saturday night I do the shows. The owner, the guy who's running the comedy club, tells me, "Don't worry, your check, I have them for you. It'll be at the counter at the hotel in the morning when you check out." And of course, guess what?
I don't know about that.
I have to tell you that this is one of the few times, and I can say this, and I do appreciate this. John Yoder of called me up, asked me what had happened, and he got me most of my money.
Did he just get done brown-nosing a club owner,
That's what it
a
sounds
booker
like,
on our show?
I think that's what it sounds
Look here.
I'm giving credit.
Mr. Yoder, apparently Billy Ray needs some work.
Yeah.
And when this COVID thing ends, Billy's expecting a whole full lineup.
That not going to pay
Even
itself.
menaced John Yoder of you know, he got the whole name in there and all. I mean, let's just say it again. John Yoder. Say it, Luis. You need some work too.
It's a John Yoder.
That's it.
Hit me up.
Apparently, he took care of Billy Ray. That's
He
why he's
did.
driving around.
I would like a as well.
He did take care of me, and I have to give credit where credit is due, because otherwise I would have been not only out the money from the gig,
I know
but
the rest
also,
of us just get screwed. We have to fight the bartender and the bouncer for our money.
well, then that explains
Billy Ray's
it.
calling a booker to get his money.
Man.
No, the booker called me. I never would have called John about that because I had no idea that he had any interest. But apparently John was.
I thought he was going to work in product placement.
I'm
Boy,
saying
he
that-
just
I'm-
went straight. I
saying-
mean, talking.
I don't know that I would call a booker. Just the neighborhood I come from, we usually wouldn't call anybody else. You know, we wouldn't call a third party to take care of a first and second
Call
party.
Louis at the back door of the club.
Yeah, you know, like it's just handling it
You know,
different. Yeah.
All I can tell you is that car was one of my, probably my favorite car that I had owned at that point, because that was the last year that they put the big engine in it, the Corvette engine in it.
And it had the big front end too.
And it did have
It had
big
the
front
big
end.
front end. I remember I had I had the 2000
Yeah, well,
with the gold package.
Oh,
That burgundy maroon color.
Yeah, those
with
are
the gold
beautiful.
I'm
package.
still
Yeah.
waiting for my. They're over here driving nice.
That was
and
my
stuff.
ex-wife. Hey, she had the money.
We'll get you. You know what we'll locate for you? A 1980s.
There.
Do you know what it is?
I will
It's
take
a
it. Whatever.
They
I'll
came
work
in
on
4-door too. They came in 4-door.
It's the same. It's actually the same car as a. It was the same. It was
Okay, it was the same car,
It
just
was.
fancied up. They put leather in it. They took a threw leather in it and,
Nah,
and decked it out.
I'll just
Put
stick
some
with my.
smoky
I'm good.
rims on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a POS.
Oh my God! They sold a ton of them though.
Yeah.
They sold a ton of them. Oh, it looks like we're almost out. Well, Billy Ray, we appreciate you coming by,
Thank you for coming.
and
do.
definitely want to have you come back again.
Yeah.
And especially after when you get back on tour and all that, make sure you stop on by and see us and all.
I will.
And,
I will be. I should be. I'm starting to get some stuff coming up. I'll be heading to Florida the end of February, as I always do. Got a few things doing down there, and got a nice headlining spot coming up in Ann Arbor the first week of February, provided we're able to do it. I'm hoping. So you know, I'm not as busy as I'd like to be, but then again, I feel really, really lucky.
Well,
I
Billy Ray, do you have a website where people can go
Abso-
look you up?
Absolutely. Billy
What's
Ray
the name of the website there?
BillyRayBauer.com. Just BillyRayBauer.com.
There you go. And we'll have that posted on our website too, at disgruntledclownshow.com. Wow, man, what a great show.
Yeah, that was very good. I
Hey,
like
we
watching
want to thank y'all for tuning in. And we also want to suggest tell your friends and all. And remember, it's all about freedom of speech. Yep. That First Amendment is so important, especially these days. We expect you to stay safe. And remember, freedom of speech gives you the right to say whatever you want to, when you want to. But it also gives other people the right to say what they want to, too.
Right. It's just better if it's funny.
Always. Thank you and good night.
When he comes to your town, he's not fooling around. And when he comes around, he'll get rid of your frown. He's the disgruntled clown.